Hey, I'm out in the straw bale garden today and we're going to talk about ongoing squash maintenance. If you're trying to grow your squash vertically, then some of these tips might be of help to you. Specifically, I'm in the spaghetti squash. They are going bonkers, which is great for me, but I need to make sure that the plants are healthy and that they can support this level of growth. Come with me and I will show you what I'm talking about. If you don't know me, if you're new here, this is the Suburban Edge. My name is Misty. The Suburban Edge is that place between the country and the city where together we learn modern homesteading skills. Part of homesteading is growing your own food, and we're growing some spaghetti squash. Well, as you can see, my spaghetti squash is growing, but it does require some maintenance. Let me show you what I'm looking at. In order for this plant to support, oh, you can't even see it. In order for this plant to support this kind of growth, and it is growing like this all across the trellis, you do need to continue to maintain it. Okay, so one of the things I want to talk about is just maintaining one central branch. Right here, I've got one stalk. This right here is trying to make its own secondary stalk, and this plant really can't support that level of growth. If I were letting it sprawl, that's one thing, but there's nothing to support this. I need to keep one stalk along the trellis and cut the rest off. It's not going to hurt this plant at all, I promise. You always want to make sure that you're pruning early morning or late evening. Early morning is best. It allows the plant a chance to recover from whatever it is you're doing to it. I am just asking side branches to stop, and it will focus the plant's energy more on that fruit production and root strength, and it will just really help the plant thrive. Come down here too. I want to talk about the males versus the females. No, this is not a controversial gender conversation. This is a truism about squash. Squash put out male flowers and female flowers, and I will show you both. But first I'm going to trim off some of these old dead leaves that are down here. Come with me. This guy right here. No, we want this gone. This is a female flower. This is the blossom of the female flower, and when it opens, it will be a similar blossom to this. This is a male flower. It is just a stem with a flower on it. Now, when your pollinators come by, they will visit this flower, and then they'll visit any female flowers. If the pollen from this flower gets in the female flower, you end up with squash. A big old spaghetti squash. When your squash is still short, you may have to ask it to come up on the trellis before these little grabbers figure out where to grab. When they're little like this, you can find a grabber and just wrap it around your support, and it will get the idea. I promise you. Once they get the idea, there's no stopping them. But until then, you do need to kind of ask them to do what you want them to do. Squash are sprawling plants. They're not really meant to grow vertically, but they will. What you need to do when they're little is just continually maintain them. You can physically support them with a tie. Ask them to grow vertically. Once they do, then you can start seeing that they like it. They dig it. And this is my spaghetti squash coming up the trellis. It's actually meeting with the spaghetti squash on the other side of the trellis. So you get this magical green tunnel. And I want this to continue to be strong and really produce, and I'm going to discourage side shooting as much as possible while it's still trying to grow. So anything like this at the bottom, these are spent male flowers, go through and trim them off. Here's another side branch that's trying to happen that's not being supported. That'll come off. Here's another little side branch at the beginning of the stem that I'm going to cut off. I'm going to clean up all these spent male flowers and just really improve airflow. Get rid of any, these are starting to feel a little sunburnt, but there's plenty of green leaves on this thing. So don't be afraid to make some management decisions. This is an unpollinated female flower. The flower came out, but there were no males or no pollinators to pollinate it, so the end starts to rot. It's yellow and it falls off. If you see this, don't panic. It's not like you're doing anything wrong. It's just the male to female flower ratio can be off. You can actually cut off a male flower and go around and pollinate your female flowers. I've done it. It works great. I have one right here that's a little squishy and starting to turn yellow, so I'm guessing it didn't get pollinated. Right here, 2 examples of non-pollinated female flowers. No big deal. You can even cut them off. Sometimes it encourages your squash plant to put out more female flowers. Right here, I have my main stem growing up, but right here, I have a side shoot. And it does have a little female flower on it, but that's the decision I'm going to make, is I don't want that. And it's okay to cut off these little grabbers. Okay, one more thing. If you get a squash that maybe you feel is weighing down your whole plant, the trusty thigh-high system can come in handy for you. You just cut off a little piece of nylon and you're going to make a little support sling for it. And you can bring it down underneath like this and tie it to the nearest support, just like that. So I'm going to tie it up here to kind of take some pressure off the stalk. It won't inhibit this growing because it's nylon, it will stretch, and it will just give it a little bit of extra. As it grows, I may put another one going the opposite direction. I hope that helps. And that was good stuff. Also, because your plants are fruiting so much, your tomatoes, your squash, you gotta really spend some time fertilizing once a week. A nice balanced fertilizer to help these plants blossom and grow. There's a lot of work happening here. The bales are getting depleted. I mean, yes, they're still decomposing, but you do have to add nutrients back in. It's not the be-all, end-all. You're still the gardener, so you got to get out here every day and garden. I hope that helps, and as always, I love having you here. Please leave a comment. How do you grow your squash, and what squash are you growing this year? I'd love to hear that. I have to hurry and fertilize, and then we're going to do some canning later today. Please leave a like and subscribe if you like this content. Follow me. We love having you here. We're a small but happy family. Bye. Oh, there's other videos right here. Bye.